Hey YouTubers! Today I wanted to do a quick video on what kind of materials you can use with toned paper, and I'm using the Strathmore Toned Tan Paper Series 400. It's got a little bit of tooth to the paper. It's not overly textured, but it's definitely not perfectly smooth like Bristol or regular old like printer paper. And I just wanted to do this video kind of quick to give you a little bit of information on how to draw on toned paper and hopefully demystify it a little bit. Next week I'm going to be on vacation, so there won't be a video. And I know last week I missed a video. I'm having a little health issue just in the past couple weeks, so that's just sort of knocked off my schedule a little bit and made it a little wonky. So if you want to see how to draw on toned paper, please keep watching. So the main thing when drawing on toned paper is that you are not working from your lightest value into all of the midtones and darks. You're working from a midtone into your darks and then also into the lighter values. So you're going to need a white, some kind of white or light color to bring out the light portions of your drawing, and you're going to need a dark toned color or black or gray, whatever kind of tone you want to use to bring out the shadow side of your forms. But this is how I personally draw in my toned tan sketchbook. Your first option for drawing on toned paper will be colored pencils. Pretty much everyone has colored pencils handy, and they come in a variety of colors. Now, when working on tan paper, I like to use a warm toned color. Sometimes you could get away with cooler tones or black if you want that kind of look, but I sort of like how the warmth of the paper complements the warmth of the medium I'm using. And I've seen it done opposite ways, like if you have a toned gray paper and you use warm colors to draw on it, that can look pretty cool, and vice versa. So it's personal choice. I tend to use black if I'm looking for something sort of cooler or moodier or more dramatic, and if I want something softer or a little bit feeling more like flesh, like in a portrait, I go for warm colors. So that tends to be like terracottas and Tuscan reds as far as colored pencils, or sometimes it's referred to as sepia or sanguine, and I'll cover a couple of those later. But specifically in the Prismacolor pencils, I use either terracotta or Tuscan red, and then of course the white is always very useful. Another type of media you can use would be an oil pencil of any kind. This is pretty much the only brand I found that was reasonably priced, Cretacolor. So there are, let's see, in here there's two black pencils. They're called Nero, Extra Soft and Soft. I don't ever use those, to be honest. I bought this specifically for the Sanguine Oil pencil and the Sepia Light Oil pencil, which you can see right here. There's also a Sepia Dark in here for like extra dark accents, and there is a white pastel oil right here, but it's very, very faint. It's not a very good white. I wouldn't recommend this at all, really, because it's very difficult to build up. So I really like, though, the Sanguine Oil color. It's very creamy, and it feels a lot like a colored pencil. I think instead of wax, it just uses oil to bind it together. So that's definitely another option to try. Then, of course, you can use a regular graphite. You got any kind of densities. You can use a mechanical pencil or, you know, whatever. This is a 2B and an 8B. And that gives a more gray tone. I don't really like the way it looks on toned tan paper, but if you really love graphite, you could start out your sketch in that and then work on top of that maybe in a sanguine or warm toned pencil. And then one of the classics that I pretty much always use is charcoal pencils. And usually you would use this on newsprint or regular drawing paper, but I just have a lot of experience from art school using charcoal. So this is just a regular 2B charcoal pencil. They come in all kinds of hardnesses. These are the ones by General. And then they also make, let's see here, they make one in white. This is a really good white for a toned paper. No matter what you use it with, it's softer than the colored pencil and the oil pencil. So I actually really like this for just like a softer blending approach, or even you can get it to a pretty fine point and get a couple sharp details in there. It's a really good option. They also have the, let's see, Primo Bianco Euro Blend Charcoal in white, which is right here. That's another really good option. And if you're looking for an even softer medium, I've got the Pastel pencils by Conte of Paris. I have no idea how you would actually pronounce that, but I have a white and black here, and these are both really nice. They're very soft though, so you're not going to be able to get like a super precise drawing. If that's what you'd like, you could go in probably with a colored pencil to accent that if you want. And then I have this pastel pencil by Crayons, which is also just a really, really wonderful white. It's very soft. Well, it's softer than the charcoal, but it's not so soft like some of the other mediums we'll get into that you can't be more precise with it. So this is a really good overall kind of workhorse of a pencil. It's actually really, really nice, and it feels really substantial, like in your hand, like the wood it's made of. I don't know. It just feels like a super premium product. I really recommend this one by Crayons. One of the softest options here for your toned paper would be new Pastels, which I have here. They're by Prismacolors. I just have this little set, and then I've bought I've bought multiple white and blacks, individual sticks, and I've used those before. But these are really, really soft, and they're really, really nice. They're very creamy. They'll blend out amazingly. I use the number 213 here for the brown, which looks, you know, it's very close to kind of a sanguine or a sepia. So if you want a white or a reddish warm tone in this, you could definitely go for that. But as you can see here, you can use all the colors of the rainbow. And these are a lot like soft pastels, which I just have this random little set here of soft pastels in earth and flesh tones. And you can see that here. It's very similar. I'm not entirely sure what the differences are exactly, and I don't use pastel a bunch. I just use it if I want to get a very smoky, extremely soft shading effect, or kind of like a diffused light effect. I typically would use the white for that. And then here we have Conte crayons, which is what they called them when I went to art school. I mean, they're not like wax-based crayons, but I have 4 different colors here. This is something I used a lot in art school for drawing, the sanguine and the bistre. I don't know how you pronounce that, bistre, but it's kind of like a darker brown color. And then they have the sanguine, XVIII. Let's see, Roman numerals. I never learned my Roman numerals, so that's probably a specific number. You can Google that. But this is a warmer red tone. Both of these are really good for drawing on toned paper, and I love them. The black and white, I have to be honest, I don't really use. I've used the white on occasion for my light areas, but I really have not ever used a Conte crayon on toned paper in black. I would typically use this more on newsprint for like a anatomy study or just a figural sketch or something like that. But these are, again, somewhat soft. They're a little bit harder than a new pastel or a soft pastel. They're sort of in between something really dense like a colored pencil, which is pretty hard, and the softness of the new pastel or soft pastels. So that's definitely sort of a medium option to go with. And then just another random supply I had laying around are these Derwent tinted charcoal that come in a couple of different colors. This is like burnt orange. I didn't have a color that was equal really to a sanguine or a sepia or anything like that, but these just like charcoal pencils will work great if you're interested in that, and if you want to add just a little bit of color to it, that could be a really good option. And then the final tools I would recommend using are compressed charcoal sticks. I have ones by Generals here, General charcoal. This is a 6B right here, and this is a white. These get kind of dirty because I don't have them in a case. And then any kind of charcoal that you want, you know, in different densities. You've got vine and willow charcoal, and if you have like a jumbo like charcoal stick like this. As far as white charcoal, you pretty much have one density. It's not like you're going to get a very soft, there's not like a 6B white or a 2B white. Generally, whatever, you know, white charcoal that you have, you're kind of stuck with like this. This is as white as it's going to get. So if you want to pump it up a little bit, you're going to have to come in with maybe like a pastel or a new pastel to brighten that light side even more, or you just have to be really, really careful when applying it with the pressure of your strokes, to be very, very specific and careful. And then the only other tools you're going to need to work on toned paper, you can have, you know, these are optional, but a sander to hone the tips of your materials, and an X-Acto knife to kind of shave off the tip there. I do that a lot with my charcoal pencils. I don't use an X-Acto knife for all of my materials, but with my charcoal pencils I like to have a really long tip so I can get some soft shading and some precise points with it. So that is an option. And then you are probably going to want either blending stumps, or sometimes they're called tortillons. They're the ones that are kind of wrapped paper. They're a very similar concept. Or just tissue to cover your finger with, because you don't really want to introduce the oils of your hand into a drawing unless it's just a sketch you don't really care about. I personally use my finger all the time in my drawings because typically when I'm working with charcoal or pastel or something soft like that, I'm just practicing. It's not for a very finished piece. But if I was working on a piece I wanted to last a really long time, I would opt for a tortillon or a blending stump like this. And then you can have all kinds of erasers. Typically, I use a kneaded eraser. I didn't have one on hand, but that's the kind that you can pull and bend and create whatever kind of tip you need with it to erase, and it doesn't leave little pieces all over your paper. This is just like a regular white plastic eraser, which will leave little pieces on your paper that you have to brush away, which can be really, really annoying if you're working with something soft, like say a soft pastel or a new pastel, because you can't brush your paper like that, or your whole drawing will just kind of disintegrate in front of you, and it can be extremely traumatizing. So I would only use this if you need like a very, very precise spot, just like edged out like a little bit. Same with the electric ones. So those are just some of the materials you can use to color on toned paper. And I'm sorry this video was a bit quick, but I just have a lot going on right now. We'll get back to our normal schedule. Hopefully in 2 weeks I'll come back with some kind of video. Maybe I'll have some footage from my vacation I could post or something like that. I'm not really sure yet, but we will be getting back to normal scheduled programming very soon. So take care and stay passionate.